And it was revealed today that Prince Harry's failed legal bid to reinstate his taxpayer-funded police protection in Britain has ended up costing the British taxpayer more than £500,000. A Freedom of Information request has unearthed the huge sum, which showed the total cost of the two separate judicial review claims lodged by the Duke of Sussex over 2.5 years of legal proceedings brought against the Home Office. Now, the cost to the public purse is raising awkward questions as to whether a royal family member should really be taking legal action against the British government. And then, obviously, we're paying for it, by the looks of things. So, Michael Cole joins me now. What do you think about all of this? £500,000, the cost to the taxpayer of essentially fighting Prince Harry. Should he be paying us this money himself, do you think?
Good evening, Patrick. Anywhere you will ever go in the world, there are two things that are never cheap: lobsters and lawyers. And this bill of £500,000 is coming to us, the taxpayer, for a case that's dragged on over 2.5 years. And the judge, Mr. Justice Lane, was very scathing about the case that the Prince, and we see him coming out of the High Court there, brought. He said it had nothing rational about it, and it was not procedurally wrong. What it turns upon is the fact that the man we see there wants to have round-the-clock armed protection for himself and his family if they're with him whenever he comes into this country. Now, the absurdity of this case is this, that any time he deigns to honour us with his presence, he does get police protection. You will remember when he came in for a 26-hour visit to his father when the announcement of the Queen's cancer was made. He came and he was in two black Range Rovers with coppers wall to wall inside it when he came and when he went. He has police protection, but what he wants and has demanded and has pursued a case is to have round the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to interrupt you, Michael. That is, you're right, the core of it. But I mean, you know, this development today is it cost us £500,000 just us having to fight him. So, I mean, he could presumably continually, gratuitously bring cases. We would have to fight it, and the taxpayer pays for it. I mean, look, maybe I'm naive about this, and wrong, clearly. I assumed that if you lost a case, you tended to pay the legal costs for the other side of it, but not so.
Yeah, he's the prince of litigation these days, and that money, £180,000 of it, went to outside barristers who are hired in by our government, and £220,000 went to the government's own legal department. That's the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, and the Treasury Council. So that's £400,000, and then there are other odds and ends, which all add up. And of course, lawyers love their fees. If they happen to think about you as they're driving home, they are very certain to charge you and put it on the bill. So we are the mugs in all this. But what is the outcome? The Prince now says that he's going to appeal against this case, although Mr. Justice Lane's judgment is pretty swingeing. And of course, I believe, and I certainly hope, that he'll need permission to take the case further. He has several cases going. Some he wins, some he loses. It's said that this case against the Home Office, which we now know had no chance of success, has cost him £1 million. Of course, this question of security is very expensive. Out in California, he has to pay for his own. And I imagine that 3 8-hour shifts of burly men guarding their Californian Camelot costs quite a lot of money. But it hasn't deterred him from coming here. Is it abuse of the system? Well, I think that's something for his conscience and for somebody else to decide. But I hope that he desists. I hope that common sense will dawn. But of course, we haven't seen much sign or evidence of that so far.
No, I find it astonishing you could turn your back on the taxpayer, you know, the people that absolutely loved him, and then all of a sudden we get slapped with a £500,000 bill and the rest probably, and it doesn't appear to be a whisper of Harry forking out for that. Look, Michael, thank you very much. You're always an absolute superstar.